Hello and welcome to Edison TV. I'm Catherine Thompson, Technology Analyst at Edison, and I'm here today with Johan Gellatly, Managing Director of Altron FinTech. Altron is a South African listed and headquartered provider of platforms and IT services. And Altron FinTech sits within Altron's platform segment. And in the last reported financial year, which was FY24, generated 11% of group revenue and 36% of group operating profit. Welcome, Johan.
Good morning, Catherine.
Hi, and to kick us off, do you think you could give us a brief overview of what Altron FinTech does?
Thank you, Catherine. So we utilize our unique own IP software and technology infrastructure to provide fintech solutions to our customers to enable them to do business in-store, online, and mobile channels. Our customers span across the formal and informal sectors. Fintech is divided into 4 lines of business. Our first line of business, with a revenue contribution of 6%, is our loan management solution. This is our own developed IP solutions that we deploy on-prem and in the cloud. This is an entirely digital-driven platform that assists our customers from loan origination to capturing the bio to actually eventually signing into digital format the loan agreement. We disburse the cash then in a few different methods. The obvious one is cash. We also transfer the money then to the consumer bank account. You can disburse the funds in an ATM, into a prepaid debit card. And then we've got our own UCash wallet, which is an alternative store of value for the consumer in the market. And that's our loan management solutions. Once we have entered into this agreement, we have to collect the funds now on behalf of our customers, and we have to collect these funds from the consumer. So that goes into our next line of business, which is payments and collections. The revenue contribution of this line of business is about 72% of FinTech's revenue. And this is really collecting the credit at an agreed-to date from the consumer. We then collect these funds and we aggregate this per customer. And then we settle on the same day to our customers these funds. There's various rules and regulations around the collecting and settlement of the funds. And there we comply with the national payment system to collect and settle these funds. Our third line of business is our integrated transaction solutions business. And the revenue contribution for this business is about 10%. This business has 2 lines of product offerings. One is terminals. This is a payment acceptance terminal that you get. The example that I can cite here is the one that you use at your retailer where you tap and go. That's integrated with the till system. That's what we call the integrated version of it. Then you have the standalone version, which you normally get into forecourts or in SME environments where you tap or dip your card to pay for your goods or services. That's the one line of business. Then we also got a switching service where we provide a financial transaction switching service to our customers. Our switch is connected into 6 banks of the country, and it's a fully compliant, internationally compliant switch. What I mean by internationally compliant switch, it's payment card industry compliant and EMV, Euromaster, and Visa compliant. So we host this in an always-on active mode. So our customers have the ability to always transact. Doesn't matter what time of the day is through our switch. The last line of business is our perso and issuance business. Their revenue contribution here is about 12%. There's like 4 lines of products that we offer into our market. The first product line is the general purpose market. That is a market where we sell to mines, schools, universities, and large corporates where there's card access control with card readers to get access to certain areas of an enterprise or to have access to the premises. And that's our entry-level product. Then we do financial instant issuance. The product here is about the size of a desktop printer. We deploy that in some of the new entrant banks in the country. And we've got about 8,000 of these machines deployed in branches in the country. And what this machine really does is it issues you a fully personalized a bank card that you can, once you've applied for a bank account and they've personalized the detail, They print this card in branch, and you can walk out the front door and transact in the retail or at the ATM market segment with this card. And that's our financial instant issuance product. Then there's these bank personalization big bureaus. That's internationally also present in South Africa. They also use the same similar kit for doing the personal issuance of bank cards centrally, and they've got relationships with the big banks, and we support these products for these customers. And then we also got the contract with the government for the national ID cards in the country, where we personalize and issue national ID cards for the citizens of Africa. We're partnered here with an American domiciled company, Entrust, for the supply of these lines of products into our territory in South Africa.
And could you talk us through the trends that you're seeing in the South African payments market and how that informs the products that you offer and that you are developing?
Catherine, we're usually excited as a non-bank and fintech in South Africa during this era of where we are in enhancing our national payment system. The South African Reserve Bank has recently announced an aggressive program of modernizing the national payment system. So we as non-banks and fintechs have been given the opportunity now to assist the SARB in crafting the new national payment system in South Africa. So here we are assisting as a grouping. We formed the ASAP group, the Association of Payment Providers in South Africa, to give us a more credible voice and a voice to be heard. And I must say the SARB has embraced the ASAP group to assist them and contribute to crafting the new national payment system. The national payment system traditionally was actually not dictated, but was more governed by banks, and the banks then dictated how the national payment system would be deployed in the country. So with this a new initiative, we're excited because they want to widen the national payment system, and really with the objective of achieving financial inclusion. Just to give you a sense of how much cash is still transacted in the informal sector, depending on which body of research you quote, but I'm quoting the lowest research level here, which is they've got an aggregated value of about 200 billion rand a year is transacted in cash in the informal sector. So there's a huge amount of work that we have to do to get the transitioning right between the informal cash predominant market sector into the formal digital transacting sector. So we're hugely excited, and we're assisting the SARB in this initiative as a body and as individual companies.
And you generate a large proportion of your revenue from microlending, whether that's from your loan origination and management software or from processing repayments. How do you see that area of the market developing?
So there's also a company that have done some research in the unsecured credit or microfinance segment. And they have done research, and the results indicate that there's about 30,000 unregistered unsecured credit providers in the country. And that's about threefold the number of the registered unsecured credit providers in the country. So there's a huge amount of work still left for us to do some change management in these unsecured non-registered market. And we see there's a long runway still for us to convert these unregistered microfinances in the market. We have recently embarked on a program where we are trying to educate, provide these entities with some business assistance, how to convert their businesses and how to get their businesses regulated, because there's a huge amount of benefits if you have a regulated business. And we have seen some early good results. So for us, there's still some huge upside in the microfinance segment, and we're quite positive that there's a contribution of this segment to the gross domestic product of South Africa is huge. I mean, we're empowering not only our customers but consumers as well out there to have access to credit now. And the real beauty of the unsecured market is that the turnaround time from application to being extended the credit is like minutes and not days. And that's a huge benefit for the informal sector who makes use of this credit predominantly.
And where you supply hardware, for example, payment acceptance devices, could you talk us through the shift from an upfront payment model to the rental model?
That's also hugely exciting, Catherine. I mean, a number of years ago, all these devices, this operating system was a Linux operating system. These devices now have embraced the Android operating system. And now this device can be used very much in a similar fashion to how you use your mobile phone. You're allowed now to download some applications onto this phone. And these applications are business applications. So in the past, where the device was exclusively used for a payment acceptance device, it can now be also deployed as a payment and a business tool. You can download your inventory applications. You can do your ERP back office integrations. If you've got a transaction engine in the back that do standalone or integrated, the devices have got the capability now to do more for you other than just a payment acceptance device. So that shift has assisted us immensely in moving our market from a predominant buying the terminal with one application on the device to a rental market where they either rent to buy or just rent. We also offer a financial transaction suite service with a device where we connected into all the big banks in South Africa. So we can offer choice to the merchants of which bank they would like to process their transactions through, and then they can negotiate with the bank the transaction fees for accepting the debit or the credit card fees. There's a level of support now that's required because this device now is a business tool. So our support center is being kept quite busy in assisting our customers to have the shift in the landscape, and we're hugely excited. I mean, we've got a number of these devices now deployed in the market, and we see there's a gradual shift from not viewing this as a mission critical part of the business, but more as an enabler in the business. And the purchase price, what we call the factory gate price of these devices, the OEM cost of sale price, is also dropping radically because of the new operating system it gives you the ability to deploy other business applications on the device. So we'll see this the shift increasing into the rental space. We're excited that this is going to be good for us in the future.
With Altron FinTech's operating margins already at a very high level, so they were 26% in the last reported year, I assume the focus is on top line growth as opposed to margin expansion. Could you outline where you see the biggest growth drivers for the business?
Thank you, Catherine. We will keep on focusing, our primary focus on the microfinance segment. As I earlier mentioned, there's about 30,000 unsecured credit providers in the country that have not been registered with the National Credit Regulator. And we've got various programs that we have deployed to migrate these into the registered segment of the National Credit Regulator's environment. So there's some pent-up demand for us, and we're usually excited of converting those as well into the formal regulated environment. And then I earlier mentioned that the informal sector, which is predominantly cash-driven, the size of that is calculated to be about 200 billion rand a year. So there's huge pent-up demand there as well. There's lots of SME businesses that are springing up there that previously you couldn't even think that there would be such a business. And we've identified a number of these SME niche segments that we would like to address. And we've been approached by some of these segments if we could assist them in getting them to be digitally active and accept card payment transactions, accept debit order deductions. So we're keen and we're hugely excited. And then with the SARB's initiative of changing the national payment system for the reasons of financial inclusion, for us that's hugely encouraging. And if we can get the national payment system to be cost friendly, then I believe we will make a huge dent in achieving financial inclusion for the South African citizens.
Great. Sounds like there's lots of opportunity for the business. Thanks, Johan, for joining me today.
Thank you, Catherine.